We are podcastvideos.com. Our goal is to educate, enlighten, engage, and entertain. We believe in the power of love and transformation through storytelling. Friends and family, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Story Scaling, a very, very special episode. I am accompanied by my good brother.
I'm Dan Crafts.
And Dan, it's the dawn of a new day.
It is. We said end of an era, but no, it's just different.
Yeah.
Not worse. Better, actually.
Yeah.
It'd be even better once we come up with the name for the other one. Teaser.
Other one?
What other one? That's right. You're used to seeing Story Scaling with our ugly mugs and some of our compadres, some of the industry experts occasionally coming in. But we're going to mix things up a little bit.
Yeah, man.
2025, Story Scaling's going to change focus some.
Yeah.
We're going to use it more for marketing purposes. It's going to be something we use to push business.
Yeah.
We're looking to grow in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Big surprise there, right?
Yeah.
And some of the more technical stuff. The discussions on polar microphone patterns and advertising in the industry. We've got a lot of tech tips coming with Brooke.
Yep.
And my discussions with either our folks or other industry experts.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cut that off into a new show. And that's going to be more focused on the industry, on expertise, on deep dives into technical matters, whereas Story Scaling is going to become more of a marketing tool for us.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of got in it, honestly, to the whole purpose of podcastvideos.com is to scale storytelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we want to make it a very simple, frictionless, barrierless entry to tell your story.
It also really made it easy to come up with the name.
Right.
It's in our mission.
Yeah, 100%, you know.
We exist to scale stories.
That's it.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
We're still kicking around the name for the new one. I think I like one, but we'll save that reveal for another time.
Yeah. But I mean, now it feels very true to what we started this as. Like, let's continue to share those stories and experiences. And like you said, also use this as an opportunity to just tell more about the business and what we do, and kind of make the second sub podcast specifically more tech focused.
We're really looking to position ourselves as the industry experts we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the new show will help us with that. Whereas this is going to be driven more toward conversion, toward growing business.
Yeah.
So there's a thought leadership side to things. That'll be the new show. And then there's a more of a marketing tool.
For sure.
That'll be Story Scaling.
Yeah.
So, and there's always good stories to tell no matter how technical you get. We say we're adjusting Story Scaling. We basically sat in a staff meeting one day. I was like, hey, we're a podcast company. We don't have a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's how Story Scaling was born.
Sure.
We didn't have a lot of guardrails on it. So I won't say it was growing pains, but it was kind of all over the place at the beginning. And as we discussed what we wanted to do with it moving forward, that's how we came up with this 2-show concept.
Well, everything is like, you just got to jump in. And then as you just dive in, now you can see, oh man, going about it this way, I might have to put some parameters on it, or I might have to, but you got to get your feet wet first. You know,
we did not need to be a podcast company without a podcast.
Right.
And now we have 2.
Now we got 2. They're super excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of your next Story Scaling guests can be the host of, I almost said the name I like out loud, but I'm not ready to commit to it yet.
When I think about positioning ourselves as an industry expert, what types of content should people expect? I mean, you briefly touched on it, but how do you...
We're going to be reviewing everything from the microphones we use. Mm-hmm. We love our Shure SM7DB, by the way. Even some of the stuff that doesn't work for us. We've experimented with some of the shotgun mics. In our use case, they're not working out real well.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're a bad product. Mm-hmm. Just the way we're trying to use them isn't quite there. We've got switchers, we've got software programs we've used, everything to the mounts that the cameras are hung off the ceiling.
Yeah.
The lighting. There'll be some tech tips like we've been talking about upgrading to the 4K cameras. Mm-hmm. We've got a TV flicker issue because of the refresh rates. We're working on trying to figure out how to get around that without having to buy a whole bunch of new TVs.
Man, so we going real behind the scenes and real deep with this.
Some of it will be more like, oh my God, what is advertising in the podcast industry, particularly as it's video now, not just the audio that advertisers got kind of familiar with over the years before video really took off.
Sure.
But there's all sorts of different ways to do it. There's different ways to track it. What do they cost? Mm-hmm. That's an industry type discussion that is going to provide important information, not necessarily technical, but it's we're just trying to make sure everybody is up to speed with the newest, the latest, the greatest. We've got 2 4K cameras sitting in there right now. We pulled the Blackmagic one out of the box, and our first thought was, oh my God, it's like half the size we thought it was. It's much smaller than the Mevo we're looking at.
Yeah.
So we will be reviewing both those cameras as well as the lenses that we're putting on them.
I know.
You know, even some of the things you don't think about. Brooke has been working with a very long, like 75-foot HDMI cable for the furthest back studio on our setup.
Mm-hmm.
We are pushing the technical limits of what you can do with an HDMI cable.
Yeah.
Before you lose some signal that degrades.
Sure.
We'll talk to folks about when you're late. If you're laying out a studio, if you're looking at where your cables run and your cable management, this is something you need to think about because you can't go 150 feet.
Mm-hmm.
It will look like you're shooting with a Polaroid.
Mm-hmm.
75, Brooke's not even sold on the idea of really using in a pro setting.
Sure.
She thinks that's about as far as we could stretch it. But that's something, you know, that's a piece of information we can do 5 minutes on and put it out there just so that people know.
I mean, so a little bit of everything is what you say.
It's going to be all over the board.
Yeah.
I think we might even have some fun and lay out, you know, the various tools we use.
Sure.
And one of those days, we're going to go out to my truck and we're going to bring the drill and the screwdriver and all the other tools that we've actually brought in here to work on the studio over the last year or so. It's a lot of them.
Yeah. It's exciting.
So anyway, we'll give you the exclusive on story scaling to reveal the name of the new one. How's that sound?
Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. Thank you so much I mean, it's really cool that we've been able to, you know, do story scaling and people watch and they tune in and, you know, they enjoy it. And now we're endeavoring into a whole new venture that's just going to be similar, but, you know, different vein.
Yeah, we're just basically taking the focus and splitting it a little bit, and we'll be able to give you a little bit of both worlds.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm sure I'll be back on story scaling, but this one is going to be Baang's baby here from now on, and I'll be focused on, I almost said it again, the new one.
Yeah.
I think I've settled on the name now, since I want to say it out loud. So I'm sure we'll have each other on as guests in the future, but for now, I'm Dan Kraft signing off from Story Scaling.
Baang, signing back on indefinitely. And we'll see y'all next time.
See you guys.